Do you know you can actually use just 2 threads in the serger? You get a 2-thread overlock, a 2-thread wrapped edge, or a 2-thread rolled hem, which means you're using 1 spool less of thread, and it actually looks really nice. It's great for very delicate-like fabrics. I actually did a 2-thread wrap on this ribbon. I wanted it to have this green hue to it to match a project. I actually got overzealous and did an entire extra spool of it, so I always have it to show. But it's really nice because there's not that extra thread tucked on the back side, so it's just had 2 threads that I had to match because that was what I was going for. The reason we're pointed down here is this is where it is stored, the 2-thread converter. In this little gray foam, you want to pick up the white button. As you pull the white button out from its little covered area here, this little guy is what is going to allow the machine to think that there's 3 threads, but when we only have 2. Now I've gone ahead and taken off the foot so I could really show you how and where this is going to attach. First thing I'm going to do is remove my upper looper thread. That's the green one. So now I just have our needle thread and the lower looper. But once again, the machine has to have something in that upper looper to catch on this needle. So we're going to take the unit. Okay, the white button is up. There's a little groove right up here. You can just kind of slide it down there like a little knife. Now it's really loose. That's because when you take the other tip, the part that actually is a kind of like a little tiny hook, you're going to push it back behind the upper looper so it sits in the eye. What's going to happen is as we stitch, you've probably noticed that you're going to see the upper looper comes up and catches. See how that blue thread is going to be nestled, that's the lower looper thread, nestled in that little kind of groove to come up and catch the needle thread. And that's what's going to actually make the overlock stitch all the way through. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just take out the rest of the green thread. And you know me, I like to remove the spool completely from the serger. I'm going to put my foot back on. Those just snap on and off by pushing that little lever in the back. And then, now this is set up for a wide version. That means that the needle is in the left needle position with just the lower looper engaged. So we're able to stitch, no problem. In your manual on page 30, there is a little chart like how we get this all set up so you can actually see what is going on. So let's just see what we have. Right now we have the 2-thread wrapped edge, and that's because it goes all the way to the back side and tucks over here. So if we wanted to not have it go all the way around, which means we don't want it to really take up as much thread, take your needle thread tension down to 0 and watch what it's going to do. This is a really nice way to just run a nice simple edge along your fabric without the bulk because you don't have that extra thread in there. So you get a simple edge with that part on the back. It's not holding anything together. So you definitely, we're not sewing a seam, we're only going along an edge. Now this is actually a really good option for you can actually, I think you can do a 2-thread flat lock for a little smoother edge, because when you take the tension down to 0, oh yeah, here we go. So the book doesn't even show you this, but you can do it. 2-thread flat lock is actually one of my favorites. And that's just because when we have that tension on the needle to 0, we can flatten that out and open, and then it lays perfectly. And then you're not fighting that extra thread trying to get it to nestle down on the inside, which normally you have to do. So that is a really pretty option. So 2-thread conversion uses less thread. I only have the needle thread and the lower looper. Your choice, you could do the right needle. It doesn't matter which needle you do, but 2-thread is a very nice, delicate stitch.